in Cleveland why he decided to go out on his own in the middle of the pandemic.
Most normal people don't have hedgehogs.
And quirky Clevelanders. We love the land and all the people who call it home, especially these hedgehogs. The story behind these adorable pets. What's new starts right now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio. Thank you so much for choosing What's New. It's great to be with you again on this beautiful, absolutely perfect weather day on this Tuesday in early April. Jay Crawford with you. Betsy Kling is off. Laura Caso is in her place. Laura, today didn't feel like April to me. It felt like June. Perfect weather.
Literally a 10 out of 10, Jay. Got out for a long walk with my pup Sadie, and it was so nice to see so many people enjoying this sunshine and this warmth, too.
Yeah, we've waited a long time for it. Laura, speaking of this beautiful weather, it has all of us ready to resume our outdoor activities. And just in time, the state has updated its health orders and in the process has opened up the rules around mass gatherings outdoors. Brandon Simmons lays out what's new for parades, festivals, and concerts that should come as a welcome to all of us.
It's really back to basics. We want to make this as simple as we can.
Just like that, an updated health order is in play, consolidating many of the health orders put in place when the pandemic was at its worst.
This new simplified order encompasses our previous orders. It streamlines those orders and underscores the most important tenets of infection prevention that stop the spread of the virus.
The biggest change affects outdoor venues, as limits on mass gatherings have been removed, as long as guests can stay in groups of 10 or less with at least 6 feet of space between groups. For outdoor event planners, it's the green light they've been waiting for.
You can see the progression from the end of February, where he began to open up venues, to this announcement yesterday, opening up outdoor events with no capacity limitation.
Denny Young is president of the Elevation Group planning Wonderstruck this summer. The event features 28 bands performing the weekend of July 24th, taking place outside on the Lakeland Community College campus. Like years past, they expect thousands to attend.
So the music festival is on a property that is 400 acres. So we have plenty of room to spread out.
The same rules apply for parades, festivals, and sporting events, too. No capacity limits this year, just social distancing. The Cleveland Indians are already in the process of making seating plans for May. That could mean more fans. But no matter what kind of event you attend, expect to wear a mask, as experts believe that's the best weapon in the fight against COVID-19.
It's been probably the most difficult year in any of our lifetimes.
Now, of course, this is great news for anybody who's holding one of those outdoor events. But of course, if you're still indoors, there are still capacity limits there. They're limited to just 25%. But of course, with weather like this, nobody wants to be inside anyway, right, Jay? You want to be outside for one of those outdoor festivals or something like that.
I do, Brandon, and like so many Clevelanders, I want to be at Progressive Field for an Indians game. And currently, we know yesterday for the home opener, they were limited to about 30% of capacity at Progressive Field. I think that came down to like 11,000 fans. But now this is effective immediately. So I would think that for tomorrow's game, at least according to this order, we could have no capacity limits, right? And we could fill it, but the Indians aren't ready to do that yet.
Yeah, they're not able to do that just yet. They said what they did is they already sold through April, and they already have their plan set at that 30% mark. So this notice just came yesterday. So they said they weren't prepared for that. That's why they're already looking ahead to May. And I don't know how quickly they can actually sell those tickets for a next day game. So May is what we're looking at. And then we'll still have to see, of course, whether or not with these new rules, with the 6-foot spacing, if it really does add more capacity or not. That's something we'll have to wait and see.
All right, Brandon Simmons live tonight. Brandon, thanks.
Now on your feet at 5, President Biden just announced this afternoon that he is moving up the deadline for states to open up vaccine eligibility for all Americans. The deadline is now April 19th, which is actually 2 weeks ahead of the original May 1st deadline. Keep in mind, most states already set that goal. And there are still a lot of questions out there about the vaccine and, of course, the virus. Many people want to know if the U.S. is at risk of a 4th surge in cases and when we will hit herd immunity here in Ohio. So for that, Let's bring in senior health correspondent Monica Robbins. Monica, we just went through the Easter holiday, record numbers of people traveling, and so many we know have COVID fatigue. Are we setting ourselves up for another huge surge of cases here?
Well, it really depends on who you ask, Laura. I think the potential is definitely there if we're not careful, but there are a lot of variables. So I spoke with Rainbow Pediatric Infectious Disease Specialist, Dr. Amy Edwards, who said the big issue really are those variants that are out there. The more contagious UK variant is running rampant in Michigan and putting 20 and 30-somethings in the hospital. If we don't keep up with our safety protocols, we could see a big surge of cases here. Now, what is positive, though, is the fact that nearly 60% of Ohioans now have some form of protection, be it antibodies from having the virus, or maybe they have the first or second dose of vaccine. Dr. Edwards believes we're going to have to vaccinate our way out of this. We need to stop the virus from spreading and replicating, and if we can do that, we can prevent it from mutating and causing these variants to keep popping up. And Laura, I know a lot of infectious disease experts were cringing when they heard that all the mass gatherings are going to be able to. So it's one thing to allow everybody to get back together, but as we saw in Texas, putting it into practice and keeping people in small groups 6 feet apart is going to be a very different thing. So I hope people listen to that and pay attention and really remember that this virus is still out there and we need to stop it from spreading to get it under control.
Yeah, all great points. Another question that a lot of people are asking: can vaccinated people still get COVID?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is no vaccine that's 100% effective. And Pfizer's study showed 6 months after vaccination, there was protection, and it dropped to about 90%. Moderna just put its results out that showed a few months as well. But Dr. Edwards say the folks who do get it, and we've had 34 cases here in Ohio, they don't necessarily get super sick. And in fact, worldwide, no vaccinated person has died of COVID. But again, the issue comes back to these variants. We're not out of the woods yet, so those safety protocols still need to be followed to some extent. And again, those infectious disease people agree, the more people who are vaccinated, the better our chance at getting back to normal. So if you're still on the fence thinking about it, do your homework, do your research, talk to your doctor, and you know, take real care into considering what you're going to do next.
Exactly, and even we've done so many reports on this. Go to WKYC.com. Check out our info with so many health experts there as well. Monica Robbins, thank you.
Laura, now to the ongoing murder trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Prosecutors called on members of the Minneapolis Police Department as they worked to establish that Chauvin violated department policy and abused his power the day George Floyd died. Here's NBC's Jay Gray with what was said on the stand.
Today's testimony continues with Minneapolis police supervisors outlining department policy on use of force, crisis training, and procedures for subduing a suspect.
The policy requires that when it's safe and feasible, that we shall de-escalate.
Prosecutors showing the jury the MPD training guide with graphics on how and when to use force. Witnesses saying none of that material includes the hold used by Derek Chauvin the day George Floyd died.
But we don't train leg neck restraints with the officers in service. And as far as my knowledge, we never have.
The defense team challenging during cross, showing a series of still images from police body cameras. The police use of force trainer acknowledging the photos seem to show Chauvin's knee across the back and shoulder of Floyd at that time.
Does this appear to be a prone hold that an officer may apply with his knee?
Yes.
Chauvin's lawyers also suggesting that a growing angry crowd could have played into decisions made at the scene. Late today, testimony centered on an officer's responsibility to render aid to a suspect. As we move forward, look for prosecutors to more intently focus on the medical aspects in this case. Jay Gray, NBC News, Minneapolis.
Amy Acton, the former state health director, will not run for U.S. Senate. She announced just today she will not be seeking Republican Rob Portman's seat, who's retiring next year. She made the announcement late this afternoon. And while she might be out of the race, a prominent Cleveland businessman is throwing his hat in the ring. Bernie Moreno declared his candidacy today. The Westlake man joins other conservatives in the race who also pledged to pick up former President Trump's agenda. At the moment, he's facing former Ohio Treasurer Josh Mandel of Beechwood and former Ohio GOP Chairwoman Jane Timken of Canton. He built the largest luxury car dealership chain in the Midwest before selling most of it. He tells 3 News he is a true outsider needed in Washington.
I'm not doing this as a vanity exercise. I'm in a fortunate position in my life where I've built a bunch of businesses, had some level of success, and I want to actually do things for the people of Ohio. And I know for a politician to say that, maybe it sounds crazy, but I want to actually get things done so that at the end of my tenure, that somebody says, you know, my life was better, the community was better, the state was better because of the things that Bernie did. That's really what I want. I'm not looking to be famous or on TV or monetize any of this. For me, this is truly a calling for public service.
He actually sat down with our Mark Namick for his first interview of the campaign. You can see more of that interview coming up on What Matters Most and at WKYC.com.
Laura, back on the vaccine front now, Norwegian Cruise Lines announced it plans to start sailing again on the 4th of July. However, the industry still needs CDC approval to sail from U.S. ports, and when that will happen is still unknown. Norwegian's president and CEO told NBC he's frustrated that cruises still can't operate here.
Every other sector of the travel, tourism, and hospitality industries are open. We've been very patient over the last 13 months. We've defended the actions of the CDC. We understood them. But now it's time to take a fresh look because the vaccines are a game changer.
NBC reached out to the CDC but have not heard back. Until the CDC gives ships approval, many lines are departing from foreign ports. Meanwhile, a group of cruise lines created 74 safety protocols. Some include requiring passengers and crew members to have their COVID vaccine. Everyone must wear masks while inside and stay socially distant. Laura, in Europe, this is interesting. Cruise ships started sailing, believe it or not, 9 months ago, and they've added up all the numbers. Since then, nearly 400,000 passengers and crew members have taken part in these sails, going back, as I said, 9 months. The industry claims that fewer than 50 COVID cases have been reported. There are no reports of COVID spreading on ships or deaths. Interesting.
Yeah, that is. That's very few cases. I think, you know, those 74 safety protocols they want in place, including having everyone vaccinated, that could be the game changer that the CEO was talking about. So we shall see, Jay.
I think so. Going back to Monica's information, yes, there have been instances where people have caught the COVID virus since being vaccinated, but no deaths,
right, no deaths
among those that have been vaccinated. And as you said, that is a game changer. Okay, we're going to take a break. Still ahead on this edition of What's New, a new pizza shop is open on the West Side, and it comes with pretty heady credentials. The owner shares what it was like to open a restaurant during a pandemic. Then, Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers paying tribute to the late Alex Trebek. We have all the details coming up in Pop Break. And Matt Wintz is in today with weather. Matt, today was absolutely picture perfect. Thank you for that. Can we please have a few more?
Unbelievable, Jay Crawford. This has been quite a stretch, and it will continue to be quite a stretch. Live look at CSU Cam. The sun is shining down on us here in the Cleveland area, and that will continue tomorrow as we take a look at your outdoor dining forecast for tonight. You don't need a meteorologist to tell you to get outside. This is a perfect night to be out at the dining tables outside. We'll be back with that forecast to talk rain and how long this warmth lasts coming up.
It's a great sight to see. New restaurants opening up right here in Northeast Ohio. Tonight, Austin Love introduces us to Matthew Harland. He was one of the longest serving employees of Chef Michael Simon, and now he's the owner of Chatty's Pizzeria in Bay Village. Here's a first look inside and what it took to open during a pandemic.
Hi, I'm Matthew Harland, owner of Chatty's Pizzeria in Bay Village. Brand new. Pizza place, sandwiches, appetizers, a lot of meatballs. Bay Village likes the meatballs.
A brand new spot that has already become a town favorite in Bay Village. The first week alone, Chatty sold over 700 pizzas, all hand-tossed and sauced by Matthew and his team.
This is kind of where I want to be.
A great start to a venture at a time when starting a restaurant has never been tougher.
Scary, nervous are a couple adjectives, but at the same time, very excited, and the adrenaline is kind of pushing through.
Adrenaline and experience has helped Matthew launch his first ever restaurant. He's been in the restaurant business here in Cleveland for over 20 years, working with celebrity chef and Clevelander Michael Simon. Most recently, Matthew was the corporate chef at B-Spot.
You know, I learned from him a lot was patience, quality, doing things the right way, staying true to your vision.
But last year when COVID hit and B-Spot permanently closed 2 of their locations, the vision for Matthew's career was left uncertain.
You know, being out of work for 3 months was probably the most miserable 3 months of my life.
But what Matthew found in that time was an opportunity to pursue a longtime dream of opening his own restaurant, a dream that might not have come about if it wasn't for the pandemic.
You know, I felt that it was time. You know, when I found out that this location was available, you know, I looked at my wife and said, we got to figure it out.
A blessing in disguise that Matthew hopes becomes the fabric of his hometown.
And we're hoping it is a good blessing in disguise, and it was a little oomph that we needed. I'm hoping this to be my last job. I see myself being here for quite a while.
Wow, Austin, thank you so much for making me hungry, and I can hear my stomach growl as I'm watching that. So, Laura, how do you like your pizza? What are your toppings?
I'm pretty simple, Jay. I like a good margarita.
Yeah?
I could do.
Nice.
I'm simple, but I could go for anything. What about you? And in your best Italian accent, please.
I love sausage, okay?
Okay.
And I love hot peppers. And that's pretty much any Italian meat is great for me. I can even put that on the pizza. But it's amazing how you don't think you're hungry, and then you see pictures like that, and you're suddenly starving.
And we have nothing, no pizza in sight.
That looks delicious, and I can't wait to try it.
Me too. I cannot wait.
I know. You know, come on, Austin. At least you could have had a couple of pies delivered so Laura and I could taste it live and give our own personal review. It looks delicious, though. All right, let's bring in Matt Wintz, who I'm sure saw those images and I'm sure is hungry for vegan pizza right now. Matt, I'd like to call an audible and make my weather word for the day hungry. But I've already selected it, and it kind of fits because this is one way to order a pizza, and it also describes today's weather. Supreme. That's your weather one.
Yeah, that's a good one, Jay. Yeah, we'll get that in there for sure. You know, I've been called the garbage disposal in the past. You know, anything you throw my way, I'll eat. So any leftovers after Austin decides to bring you some food, I'll come in and clean up the scraps for sure. But what a beautiful day, Northeast Ohio. You know this. So what I'm here for is to tell you what we've got here in the future. We've got temperatures this evening that are very mild. Look at temps right now, up near 80 in Akron, Canton, over towards Norwalk. This has made it all the way up towards the lakefront where it's just a touch cooler. And look at the expansive area of this warmth where we're just as warm here as they are in Atlanta right now. How about that? Even back towards Oklahoma City, this warmth will continue over the next several days. We do have some showers and thunderstorms roaming that boundary between the warm and cold air off towards the north. The bigger picture, though, showing a cutoff area of low pressure off towards the west. They've got snow in the Dakotas. That system's going to take its time getting here. It'll arrive Thursday and Friday. But until then, we've got widespread warmth out ahead of it. I think another beautiful day tomorrow where we're going to be pushing 80 degrees. A mild night tonight. We're going to fall back into the upper 50s by daybreak. Notice how we've got some clouds moving in. Those clouds are off of some thunderstorms off in areas of Michigan. So we should have a pretty nice sunset across Northeast Ohio as well. And I don't know about you, I've had some real supreme sneezes over the last couple days. That tree pollen continues to wreak havoc in some area, northeastern Ohioans. It's in the medium category tomorrow. It's not the stuff you see. It's not not the pollen that lands on the car. It's the stuff you don't see that causes the problems, and that certainly is in the air right now, especially with no rainfall. Your National Design Mart Hour by our forecast. We do have a slight chance of a pop-up shower, maybe a rumble of thunder out towards the east tomorrow as a weak boundary floats through. Otherwise, we've got mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies tomorrow afternoon. We'll make a run at 80, as I mentioned, and that warmth continues. Your Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, I've got us at 79 the next 2 days. Our chance of rain will really increase late Thursday into Friday. We've got another wave this weekend, and Laura will detail more of that in the next half hour. We'll take a fine-tooth comb through that forecast, but 70s and upper 70s the next 4 days. It is really quite magical for this time of year, that's for sure.
Magical is the word. I mean, even the whole picture, it's beautiful. Matt wins. Thanks so much. All right, coming up next on What's New for You, see what happens when a husband tries on fake nails. I gotta watch this. It's ahead in Worth a Watch. Could Drake's 3-year-old son be the next LeBron James? Kira Cotton shows us his skills and more top entertainment stories in today's Pop Break.
I wasn't hiding my kid from the world. I was hiding the world from my kid.
Can you believe it? Just 3 years ago, Drake was keeping the life of his son Adonis a secret. Well, now he's more open and showing us baby Adonis' skills on the court. In a video posted to Drake's Instagram story, the 3-year-old can be seen working on his jump shot with a coach. And despite a couple misses, he nails 3 shots in a row. I guess that outside basketball hoop that he got at the start of quarantine is paying off.
Other than the Super Bowl, this is the honor of a lifetime.
NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers is the latest celebrity to guest host on Jeopardy! During his debut last night, Rodgers, who's a Celebrity Jeopardy! Champ, paid his respects to the legendary Alex Trebek.
Alex was such a gentleman, so smart, so precise. I was in awe, and I will work hard to honor his legacy.
Despite a solid hosting debut, one of the contestants couldn't help but ask the Green Bay Packers QB about the field goal that cost his team the NFC Championship in January. Good thing Rodgers is a good sport. And Pete Davidson finally moved out of his mom's home and into a place of his own. The 27-year-old Saturday Night Live star shared the news during a Zoom call that was later posted to TikTok.
Yeah, I'm fully out. I got a pad.
According to the reports, the comedian moved into a $1.2 million condo in Staten Island after living in the basement of a home he purchased for his mom in 2016. Now, I don't blame him. If my mom lived in a $1.3 million home, I'd still live there too. Back to you guys.
Kara, thanks. Now it is time for our Worth the Watch, and we've shared stories with you before on Avon family Team Balmert. It's a local family churning out viral videos. Laura, I'm sure you know them. And they try out new treads. Their videos are great.
They are, and sometimes they even like to challenge each other. So have you ever wondered what it's like to wear acrylic nails, Jay? I don't know. Well, Lindsay.
I have not.
You have not. Okay, well, here we go, because Lindsay apparently challenged her husband to wear them for a day. Let's watch.
Is this making it like even more permanent?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Am I doing this right?
Yep. Text me. I love my wife.
It doesn't work. You gotta push the button with your thing?
That part, like that.
Like you use your nub?
I love
Chris
my wife.
also,
I know, I'll get there. Hold on. Ow!
He had to try to do things like open a can of Sprite. He had to try to blow his nose with those things. And I never really thought about this, but it must be difficult. He had to try to pick up change and even get some drinks from the Starbucks drive-thru. Things that men never think about that women do to make themselves extra beautiful. Wow.
It's too good. I've never had acrylic nails, but it looks hard either way.
Yeah, I love watching him try to text and then the whole change thing. I'd have to say I would probably be just as bad at it as Chris was. The videos are good, though, and that's why they're viral. Still ahead in the next half hour of What's New, can your employer make you get the COVID-19 vaccine? We're going to take a look at that from a legal perspective. Then it is Tech Tuesday. We love that here on What's New. We're going to tell you why all mental health apps are not created equally and everything you need to know about the app that gives you access to the NFL draft festivities. Stay with us.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
And welcome back to the second half hour of What's New. I'm Jay Crawford. Laura Caso is in for Betsy Kling. Laura, great to see you again.
Great to see you. Good to be here, especially on this beautiful day. Sunshine is coming in through the windows back here. No complaints. All right, Jay. Also, in about 20 minutes, we're going to give everyone, this is exciting, everyone a sneak peek at the construction happening right now for the NFL draft stage. So that's a big deal, Jay.
It is. I can't wait for this. And we're also going to tell folks how they can get tickets to a lot of these free events. The NFL experience that they bring to the draft is so much fun. If you're a football fan, you're going to want to stay tuned for that.
For sure. All right, let's get started with 3 things you need to know today. Minneapolis police supervisors testified in the Derek Chauvin trial. Prosecutors showed the jury the department's training guide with graphics on how and when to use force. The department's use of force instructor saying they don't train leg neck restraints. However, the defense pushed back, showing photos of what seemed to show Chauvin's knee across Floyd's back and shoulder at the time. Chauvin's lawyers also suggested that a growing, angry crowd played into the decision made at that scene.
For number 2, our COVID numbers today include 1,871 new cases, and that continues to trend slightly higher than our 14-day average, which is also up again. That now stands at 1,804 new cases on average over the last 2 weeks. The state reported last Thursday that our cases per 100,000 continues to climb. They have it at 167 last Thursday. According to our most recent estimate today, those calculations now around 174 cases per 100,000. But also getting bigger, and this is the key, it's our number of vaccinated residents statewide. We're now at 3,774,000 people that have been vaccinated at least with one of the shots here in Ohio. And by the way, that is just shy of 1 in every 3 Ohioans.
Also, new evidence suggests that the Moderna vaccine can protect humans for several months. Researchers looked at samples from 33 people that were taken 6 months after they had received both doses during the phase 1 trial. They found antibody activity remained high in all age groups, although the levels were lower in those ages 56 and older. The scientists say there are ongoing studies to monitor the immune response beyond the 6-month period. They're also working to determine the effect of a booster shot that could extend the antibody response and also protect against emerging variants. And that brings us to today's Top Talker. If you haven't noticed, everyone is talking about the COVID-19 vaccine right now, whether they've gotten it, have an appointment, or don't plan to get it at all. And a lot of you have been asking, can your boss make you get a vaccine? Our legal expert, Stephanie Haney, breaks it down for us in today's Legally Speaking.
That's why you need to know your rights. The question is, can your bosses require you to get a vaccine of any kind? Legally speaking, yes, they can. And that's not just for people working in hospitals, though it is very common there. Now, there are compromises at some places, like where doctors and nurses can choose to either wear a mask or get the flu shot. It's been that way for years. One nurse told me, though, that because masks are already required right now, her and a lot of her coworkers won't be getting that vaccine this year. At other places, most employees don't have that choice. There are legally recognized exemptions, though, regardless of the policy at your job. The 2 main ones are, first, if vaccines are against your religious beliefs, and second, if you have a medical condition, like if you're allergic to something that's in the vaccine. And there is a third possibility for moral beliefs, like if you're vegan and there are egg products in the vaccine, for example, but that's a harder case to make. And if you don't fall into one of these groups, yes, you could lose your job if you refuse to get a required vaccine. A lot of companies are working on their COVID-19 policies right now, so it's a great time to get ahead of it and let your employer know how you feel so you can try and help shape that policy before you're forced to make that choice. This is Stephanie Haney, Legally Speaking, for 3 News.
All right, Stephanie, great information. Thank you very much for that. Well, it is Tuesday, and you know the drill. We love technology here at What's New. We call it Tech Tuesday. So we're taking a look today at 3 different stories in technology, Laura, that are currently making headlines.
Yeah, so first up, we're talking about mental health apps. More and more Americans are taking advantage of mental health apps, of course, during the pandemic. But not all of them are created equally. There are thousands available in app stores, and many are also unregulated. According to Consumer Reports, many aren't covered by the law unless the app connects you directly with a doctor. And in some cases, data is even shared with third parties, including Facebook.
The fact that you're seeking help or seeking care for mental health could be a piece of data that's used for targeted ads or ending up harnessed for other purposes that you might not be comfortable with or at least aren't aware of.
So that does not mean you should avoid apps altogether. Just do your research about the app's privacy policy before you download. According to NBC, apps like Talkspace and BetterHelp are protected by HIPAA.
Well, Laura, this one's kind of surprising. Next on our list, LG. You know the name. They're getting out of the smartphone business. The company's board of directors approved the decision earlier this week. According to TechCrunch magazine, LG plans to shift its focus to electric vehicle components, smart homes, connected devices, and other devices. LG was once the OG in the phone business. They were one of the pioneers in the smartphone industry. They remain number 3 in the market for a very long time. They say they will continue to provide software support for existing phones for a while. And for all of those folks hoping to experience the NFL draft, pay attention. It is finally getting here now, just a few weeks away. And as you know, it's happening right here in Cleveland. The NFL is managing capacity and reservations for their festivities through one of its apps. It's called the One Pass app. Now, you can download it, and you better do it quickly because the time slots for these events are filling up very quickly. Here's how you do it. Once you download the device, the app, click on the reserve your free tickets, select the day and the time that you'd like to attend, then click Get Tickets. Pick how many tickets you'd like, then hit Get Tickets again. You'll have to give your phone number before checking out. After checkout, the app asks if you have received your COVID-19 shot. So Laura, here's the drill. Typically, this event brings hundreds of thousands of NFL fans to wherever the city is holding the draft. A couple of years ago, you'll remember it was in Nashville. They had almost more than 500,000 people come into their town. Last year, of course, Las Vegas was supposed to hold. It was canceled. Experts are expecting large crowds in Cleveland, probably not 500,000, but there's going to be a lot of demand. So if you want to go to these events, get that app and start trying to get your tickets.
Act fast. That's great advice, Jay.
And it's going to be a big time, too. A couple of weeks away, the NFL draft here in Cleveland. Still ahead on What's New, we're going to give you a first look at the new stage that's being built right now in Cleveland for the NFL draft. It's going to be a doozy. Then Mike Polk introduces us to a quirky Clevelander whose hedgehogs are actually Instagram famous. And tonight's Save Our Sauce takes us to Luigi's in Akron. It's known for delicious pies, salads piled high with mozzarella, and epic meatball sandwiches. Our Doug Tratner made a whole list of Akron eateries that you should try. It's up now on our website, wkyc.com/saveoursauce. We'll be right back.
Today. Hello, Al. Happy Tuesday. We are talking about the NFL draft stage today. It's gonna be great. It's actually a pretty anticlimactic video, but it is kind of exciting. Is it? Okay. Let's see. Let me turn this down. How's that? Is that better? Okay, go.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, let's talk weather because it's so much fun to talk about weather when it looks like it does right now outside. And I want to thank Matt Wins for that. And I'm so jealous you're outside, but so happy that you get to enjoy this.
Yeah, I'm doing that double duty thing, Laura.
Yeah.
So half of my mind is on the kids, making sure they don't fall. But Mama's inside cooking dinner. She's usually in charge. She's doing great. But yeah, it's a wonderful day to be out. Let's be honest. And Laura, this isn't too exciting for a meteorologist because we're just tracking numbers. But over the next couple days, we are going to bring more rain chances in here, even some showers and thunderstorms as we get into the weekend. And boy, do we need it because we are very dry all across northern Ohio here. It's been a very dry spring so far. So numbers so far, this is official off the last 30 minutes or so. 79 officially at Hopkins, 79 at Mansfield. I throw Youngstown in there. That's really the closest official site from an airport just outside our viewing area. But you see Akron, even New Philly at 78 degrees. A mild night is ahead of us. We will have some clouds coming in. They're going to be mainly high clouds off of what you see there in Michigan, just some decaying thunderstorms, but should make for a beautiful sunset, as I mentioned earlier. But the bigger picture, there's a big area of low pressure out in the Plain States that is going to be a very slow mover. It's cut off from the main flow of the jet stream. So that thing's going to take until Thursday night and Friday to get here. And until then, what you see is what you get Northeast Ohio. Another warm day expected tomorrow. In fact, these temperatures some 20 to 30 degrees above average for this time of year. But we know in March and April, it is rarely ever average around here. Another cool look. This is a water vapor imagery. I want to show you that area of low pressure that'll be affecting us Thursday and Friday. You can see that swirl in areas of Wyoming. Watch how that slowly transitions off to the east. You get the explosive thunderstorms on the eastern edge of that. And that is what we're going to track in here Thursday, bringing us some rainfall. So your National Design Mart, not an hour-by-hour outlook. We're going to give you a day-by-day outlook as we go through the weekend. You can see that spiraling area of low pressure finally bringing some rain, maybe even some rumbles of thunder with that late in the day Thursday. That's our real next chance of rain outside of an isolated shower tomorrow to the east. That will move through Thursday with some lingering showers on Friday. The whole system wraps up towards our north. I think we'll start the weekend dry on Saturday. We're going to stay on the warm side of things Saturday, but later in the day, there's a pretty vigorous area of low pressure that'll come out of the Tennessee Valley. I would be concerned for some stronger storms perhaps Saturday night and Sunday morning. That system will wrap up and will eventually drag some cooler air in here next week as we get on the cooler side of that low. But in terms of rainfall, as I mentioned, we need it, and it does still look like we're going to get it. And again, that arrives Thursday and Friday and lasts through the weekend. But for tomorrow, enjoy it. 75, that first pitch for the Tribe game. 1:10 is the first pitch time there. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, 70s over the next 4 days. And then we will slowly see that temperature tumble Sunday, Monday. But don't, hang your hat on this warmth yet, Jay. We know that this time of year. There are some models about 10 to 15 days from now that do bring some much colder air in here. So if I have to tell you again, please take advantage of this because this doesn't always last in April.
And I know the Indians will tomorrow. They're going to have beautiful weather for their afternoon game at Progressive. Matt, thanks. Well, we know that Northeast Ohio has no shortage of fascinating people with a wide variety of interests and passions. Our Mike Polk loves nothing more than sharing those stories and meeting Quirky Clevelanders. He recently caught up with a family of adorable and unusual pets that you just have to see to believe.
Cleveland is currently home to no shortage of big-name celebrities, such as Geraldo Rivera and the condiments that race each other at Indians games, just to name a few. But bad news, Geraldo. Some hot new A-listers have entered the scene, and these ladies are threatening to hedgehog the local spotlight. Because they are hedgehogs. Meet Beck, Bianca, and Jelly Bean. In case you've been living under a rock, they've been taking the world by storm with their popular Instagram account, which features an intimate look into the glamorous lives of these sassy quill queens. The famous threesomes manager, Stacey Edelstein, who curates the thriving account on behalf of her clients, spoke with me from the hedgehog's swanky estate in nearby Orange.
How long have you been keeping hedgehogs?
I got my first one in September 2013 because I was kind of obsessed with watching videos of them taking a bath floating on their backs in the bathtub. Not one of mine has ever done that.
No? What a ripoff. You keep throwing them in there and none of them want to do it? You have a pretty impressive account these characters have now on Instagram.
Most normal people don't have hedgehogs, so I think people are just really curious.
All right, I'm going to put this twist on it. It probably was very nice in this last year when everybody was so stressed out just to look at some hedgehogs. There, I tied it back into the pandemic. What is the ultimate hedgehog treat? If I wanted to bring them a tribute of some sort, what would you recommend?
Love scrambled eggs.
Okay.
They love the dried mealworms.
Alexa, put dried mealworms on my shopping list. Do they pop up on national TV as well?
So I got the Today Show mug and I put one of them in there. And so it's just like the mug shots,
Yes.
It's not like they're sitting there being interviewed by them. But yeah, so they've been in
That's
a
enough
couple
for
mug
me.
shots.
Would it be a big deal if I came out and visited just for a sec, just to say hi?
That's fine.
I had the green light. It was time to go meet the ladies. I'm not typically prone to becoming starstruck, but on this day, all bets were off.
Oh my God, you guys, I'm your biggest fan. This is so exciting. Thank you for letting me meet them.
We have a tendency to put celebrities on pedestals, but if you actually get a chance to spend some time with them, you realize they're not much different from us.
I don't mean to fanboy out like this, but would you mind if I got maybe a picture with each of them?
Sure, they might have flashy wardrobes and handlers who attend to their every need.
Honestly, though, if the three of these were Destiny's Child, this would be Beyonce.
But like us, at times they too get a little cranky or shy.
It's a really unique feeling an animal hate you, viscerally like this.
Or they just want to be left alone to curl up in a spiky ball or eat my eggs and worms in peace. And I think we can all relate to that.
I think that obviously they're huge stars, and most stars don't like to be seen eating on camera. So I'm gonna leave these hard-boiled eggs and worms here for you guys. They really are stars.
This is Mike Polk, still riding that hedgehog high for 3 News.
Oh, that is great. I know Mike has a soft spot in his heart for animals.
Right.
He's a huge cat lover. But I have to say, Laura, this is the first time and probably the last time that hedgehogs will ever be referred to as Destiny's Child.
It's amazing.
I've never heard that before.
I haven't either, but you never know what's going to come out of Mike Polk's mouth. I love that he's saying stars don't like to eat on camera. He's too good. But yeah, he loves animals, so there they are. They're stars.
He does, and that's a great story, and it's part of Mike's series, Quirky Clevelanders, and here's the deal. If you're sitting at home and you're watching this and you're saying, hey, I know a quirky Clevelander, then this is perfect. You need to email Mike Polk. It's mpolk@wkyc.com. Tell him of your quirky Clevelander, and who knows, they might be a star on Channel 3 as well. Kind of cool.
Yes, seriously, do it. If you know someone, do it. Or an animal. All right, next on What's New. University Circle needs your help. How you can vote to make it the best arts district in the country. Then our Show Us Something Good takes us to Avon Lake. We'll introduce you to 2 of the cutest little eaglets.
Joe, yeah, I do.
It is time to see what's clicking in Cleveland, and for that, we bring in our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney. Hi, Steph.
Hi there, Laura. You know, the stage is being set for the 2021 NFL Draft right here in downtown Cleveland, and I do mean that literally. This video is from earlier today. You can see a truck bringing in the pieces and parts that will transform into the main stage for the draft. Now, this is right along Lake Erie in the North Coast Harbor. That's next to First Energy Stadium and tucked right behind the Rock Hall and the Great Lakes Science Center. It's getting real, folks. And Cleveland's University Circle neighborhood is #1 right now in a USA Today poll. It's leading the vote for Best Arts District. This is out of 20 nominees. The home of the Cleveland Museum of Art is up against stiff competition too, like New York City's Museum Mile. You know, that's just where they hold the Met Gala. So let's keep this thing going and bring this one home, huh? You can vote through April 26th, and we have the voting site linked at WKYC.com. And here at 3 News, our Feel the Love campaign is on. Now, this is where all of you at home share your reunions with us after a long year of quarantine. Now, when you get to safely have those moments, send them our way using the hashtag reunionson3 on social media, or send pictures and video to us directly in the WKYC app using the Near Me feature. April is National Month of Hope, so it's perfect timing for us to celebrate your reunions here on What's New over this next month. Like this one. This is great-granny Janet Rathbone from Aurora with her 9-month-old great-grandbaby Morgan Marie Arnold. Now, this is post-vaccination on a trip to Kentucky to meet for the first time. Janet is 82 years old, and wow, what a moment, Laura and Jay. I just cannot get enough of that granny's face meeting that baby girl for the first time. Keep them coming, people. This is too good.
Yes, please keep them coming. And the way that she's leaning on her grandma, it's so sweet.
It is indeed. Laura, thank you. Stephanie, thank you very much. Coming up, the first eaglets are here. You've got to see the pictures. We're going to have a live look at the nest as we wait for the last egg to hatch in Avon Lake. Who knows? Maybe it will hatch live on What's New. Wouldn't that be cool?
Hello, hello, hello. Michigan is backsliding with COVID cases, but what's interesting is what's causing it. The state started easing restrictions.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep. I hear you. Yes, test 1 2 1 2. We're here in the lovely city of Tremont, which is actually not a city, it's a community in downtown.
Well, today's show is something good is a sure sign that spring is in the air in Northeast Ohio as 2 new eaglets have hatched in Avon Lake. This is a live look at the nest at Redwood Elementary School. We're waiting for that 3rd egg to hatch. Officials say it could come anytime now. The first egg hatched Sunday. The second egg came yesterday around 7 o'clock in the morning. So a big congratulations to the parent eagles known as Stars and Stripes. It's been about a year since the last hatching. We have a link to the live stream. It's up now on our website, WKYC.com. That's a cool link, Laura. I could stare at it all day.
I could too. And there is actually a live stream right next to where I am. I'll try to focus on the news.
Very good. Well, that's going to end our time with you for What's New, but we're back tomorrow at 5. We hope you join us then.
Jay and I, though, are back for What Matters Most, which starts right now.